Long before the sun would think of rising, in the profound quiet of 5 a.m., a single alarm would cut through the silence. For most, this is an hour of deep sleep, a time for dreams. But for Sampath, this was when the real work began. Every single morning, he would make his way to a sparse, empty room, a space he had claimed as his own. Here, under the solitary glow of a warm lamp, he would prepare. Not for a meeting, not for a job, but for a dream. A powerful, persistent dream of becoming a great speaker. Someone whose words could build bridges, spark ideas, and move the human heart. But in this room, there was no audience to move. There was no applause to chase. The rows of empty chairs were his only spectators, their stillness a constant deafening reminder of his solitude. There was only the silence, a vast, intimidating quiet, and his own ambitions staring back at him from the void. He set up his phone on a small tripod, its unblinking lens his sole witness. For 6 long months, this was his reality. He spoke not to crowds, but to the walls, to the dust motes dancing in the lamplight. He practiced his pauses, refined his gestures, and told his stories to an audience of one, hoping that one day the echoes in this empty room would be replaced by the roar of a crowd. The red light of the camera felt like an unblinking eye. He'd start, his voice full of hope, only to hear it falter, cracking under the weight of his own expectations. A frustrated exhale. Then, the inevitable tap of the delete button. The cycle was relentless, a private battle fought in the quiet of his room, over and over again. In the silence that followed, a question echoed. What's the point? He felt like he was pouring his soul into a void, speaking to an empty room. No one was watching. No one was clapping. Just the quiet hum of his own uncertainty. But in that emptiness, a different feeling began to take root. A quiet resolve. It wasn't about the applause or the view count. It was about the promise he had made to himself. So he would reset his small studio. Each action a ritual of recommitment, a defiant stand against the voice that told him to quit. He showed up day after day, week after week. The calendar pages flipped, marked with the simple, powerful words, record, practice, again. He was learning that the most important audience was himself. He wasn't waiting for someone else to believe in him. He was building belief with every take, every reset. He understood that true strength isn't found in the roar of the crowd, but in the silent decision to show up, especially when nobody is watching. Thanks for watching. He had been speaking into the void for weeks, each video a message in a bottle tossed into a vast, silent ocean. The initial spark of passion was beginning to flicker, smothered by the deafening quiet of low view counts and minimal engagement. Doubt had become a familiar shadow in his small room. Then, one morning, amidst the quiet hum of his routine, his phone buzzed. Not an alarm, not a news alert, but something different. He picked it up, expecting nothing, another ghost of a notification. But there on the screen, a string of simple words glowed. A comment from a stranger. "Your words helped me not give up today." He read it once, then again. The letters seemed to rearrange themselves from mere pixels into a lifeline. It wasn't the viral explosion he'd secretly hoped for. It wasn't a million views or a flood of new subscribers. It was just one person, somewhere out there in the world, who had been reached, who had been helped. And in that moment, everything shifted. For Sampath, that was more than enough. He finally understood. The relentless grind of consistency doesn't promise fast, explosive results. It promises something far more valuable. It promises real ones, a real connection, a real impact. His purpose was no longer to be seen, but to help someone feel seen. Days turned into months, and months into change. His voice got stronger, his message got clearer. The empty room that once echoed with silence now echoed with applause. If you're waiting for the right moment, it's never coming. You create it by being consistent when no one's watching. So keep showing up, because one day the world will notice what only you could see all along.